Hey friends. So I had someone ask a little bit about how we built our pallet herb garden, and I know pallets are kind of a thing right now. So let's go take a look while the chickens yell at us and see how we put a pallet herb garden together for really cheap, really simple, and just a total DIY because I felt like I needed to have a pallet in the backyard. So come with me, let's take a look. So the way we built this pallet herb garden is it actually came like this with a solid back. I don't think that's really necessary, but that's how this pallet was built. And then we took a regular 1x2 or maybe 1x4. Yeah, 1x4. And we put it along the inside and just screwed it in from the sides on each side, and then a couple right here. And then I lined it in a U shape with landscape fabric, and I just tucked it in there and kind of cut the corners so that it would lay like nicely in there like a little pocket. And then I filled it with dirt. That was really it. It wasn't a really complex project, and I was just hoping to have enough space for my herbs and stuff, which I do. I don't have anything planted along the bottom here because Buster has decided that he likes to pee on it, so I I quit planting anything down there when that failed. But everything in here seems to be doing really great. We have our chives. We had some cilantro here that bolted. I have lemon thyme, oregano, and then up top I have regular thyme and some lavender, and there's some cinnamon basil in here with the ivy plants that you can kind of see in the background, so the cinnamon basil is not front and center there. But I am going to plant some more regular basil up here on the top, and that's it. It was really a simple little build, but really fun, and it does add just a little conversation piece to the garden. So I would encourage you to do it. It's really easy, and it's functional and really cheap. So the landscape fabric we just had laying around the house, and the dirt was left over from another project. Actually, it was left over from our sunflowers and zucchini that are over here, really doing great. So maybe while I'm out here, I should take you guys around and do just a little quick garden update. Wow, it's 9 a.m. and it's already roasting out here. So I figured, since I was out here taking a look at my herb garden, that maybe I should show you my tomatoes that have absolutely gone berserk. So let's go take a look at those really quickly, and then we'll go from there. This monstrosity is, I'm telling you, the birds around here are louder than our chickens. This monstrosity is a Honey Delight hybrid tomato that I started from seed indoors, and it is just loaded with fruit. It's gigantic. It just is just a monstrosity. There's no other way to explain it. I actually came out here today and I pruned it quite a bit just so that it would give me a little more room for the rest of my plants. My other two plants down here are still doing good, but like, look at all the fruit on that sucker. Like, it's just loaded with fruit. It's doing really well. I can't wait for some of them to turn so I can tell if they're actually good. I'm sure they are, but that's the only non-heirloom tomato that I have in my garden, and it is a beast. So it doesn't necessarily matter, I don't think, if you're growing a hybrid and you're feeling some shame about not growing heirlooms, because I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous. The other two I have down here, this is the Bulgarian that my coworker had given me, and it's doing really well. And then my Brad's Atomic Grape, it's trying. I actually just pruned back a lot of the canopy area of my other tomato just so I could give this guy some more light and sun and air to kind of give it a little boost. And my little basil down there, It's jamming. It's doing great. This row over here is kind of a hodgepodge. In the way back, I have a regular standard jalapeno. This bean right here, I cannot remember for the life of me what kind of bean that is. We'll find out when we get beans, but it's either a a Dragon Tongue's pole bean maybe? Or a Cobra pole bean. I'm not sure. It's definitely a pole bean. But what color will it be? It's a mystery. That little guy down there, he is a Hungarian black pepper. It's kind of like a jalapeno, but purple. Surprise! And then this guy is my Notapeno, just jamming down there. And then I also have a California sweet pepper right there. And then in front of it, this guy here is a Lucid Gem. And this guy got planted with the egg in the hole. And it got planted because I was just really excited about that tomato. Excuse me, we're trying to make a YouTube video. This tomato next to it is also a Lucid Gem, and it was planted off of the plant that broke off when my dog stepped on it. It did not get an egg in a hole, so I figured this was a really good way to compare the two. Down in front, I have marigolds. I have some purple basil, tricolor sage down there, and my marigolds are all doing great. I want to talk about marigolds here in a second too, because some of these from Baker Creek are just giant. This guy here is my Granny Cantrell's German red tomato, and it is officially taller than I am. I only have a couple of fruits set on it because when it was flowering its hardest, it got to be like 105 here, so it dropped some of its flowers, but it does have some fruit set on it now. So it's a beefsteak type. We are gonna see how that one does, and it is a Baker Creek seed. This guy here is a Black Krim tomato. It is got some really great sized fruit on it. I'm pretty excited about it. I cannot wait for them to get ripe. It's not as tall, but it is doing really, really great. It's got probably a dozen or so tomatoes on it right now, and it's still flowering. So hopefully that'll keep producing for us for a while. And down in the middle here, we also have some more purple basil. I have onions all along the side. And the star of the show, my Swiss chard over here, down here, is just doing great. I just keep picking like the outside leaves and letting the insides grow, and it just keeps reproducing. This back here is a Cobra pole bean, and it has put off quite a few this season, and I'm just waiting for the next round of flowers to get into beans. That's about it for our garden today. Everything's really happy and healthy. Including my chickens. They're all doing great, as you can hear throughout the video, them yelling at us. I'm really pleased with how all of my plants are performing. I visited a few friends, and I can say that my plants are definitely doing really great. It's really hard as a gardener, I think, to determine whether or not your plants are succeeding, because you don't have anything to compare it to. So if you have a friend that is also growing tomatoes or growing the same types of vegetables that you're growing or fruits, go over to their house, have coffee, sit around, have a glass of wine, and talk to them. And I have a video about that I'll link in the description. When I went to my girlfriend Kelly's garden a couple of weeks ago, and her garden is glorious. It's wonderful, and it's so great to have somebody to talk plants with. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do that now as well, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. I try and do this once a week, and if you have questions, let me know. I'm still kind of a novice gardener, but I do tend to over-research, so I'm happy to help if I can. If you have any questions about what's working and what's not, let me know. I think I'll do a successes and failures video here in a little bit, and maybe a version of my garden favorites. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week ahead of you, and take care. Love and light.